Hey, welcome in everybody to a real quick KBO video that shows you the power of a DFS Army and how to compete and really cut down your research time. I'm going to oversimplify this just to show you how absolutely fast it can go at the absolute minimum. You can add in anything that you want to look at along the way and obviously take more time, dive deeper, whatever. But if you want to see the fastest way to be competitive, this is it. Are you ready? Oh, by the way, coupon code CHOPPER is 20% off each month. DFSArmy.com down there in the link in the description of the video. If you want to become a VIP and unlock this type of research and this type of power to compete on a very high level across every sport, every day, every slate, as large as your bankroll will let you go, DFSArmy.com. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the research station under the KBO tab. You can look at the cheat sheets if you want to. We'll start with those because really this is not going to take very long. And you can scroll down and see core plays, and you can see the favorite stacks, and you can see a whole bunch of other cool stuff and spend your time looking at that, which I highly recommend. If you're trying to learn this game on a single entry level, on a cash game level, whatever, these things really help. But when you're looking at the research station, we're only concerned about a couple of things. You can look at all the different players, all the different projections, all the different, WOBAs and ISOs and everything that you want to. And I do that typically. But KBO, I'm not really going to be awake in the middle of the night. I am throwing my edge out the window a little bit, but I'm playing way underneath my means because I know I'm not putting the proper research into this, the proper effort in, and I'm not going to be up when lineups confirm, and I'm going to have some holes in my lineups. So I'm doing a couple of key things to cut these down and give myself at least the best chance, but really and truly test our projections and test our ability of our optimizer to do the work for me, as well as cheat sheets, research station, whatever. The first thing I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to find my key stacks. What teams might have the best projected average? Obviously, KIA and DO are going to be high on the list. KIW looks like they're in a pretty good spot. You've got several of these guys right here ranking very high on the projection, right? So that gives me a spot to start immediately. Probably means bad pitcher. But if I scroll over to, or come down here to the Today's Stacks tab, I can look in here and I can find the projection, the DraftKings projection, 95 for Duke. That's tops on the slate. Now I can find 81 for NCD, Kia, KIW are next in line down here. Han's okay. Even Sam might be okay. But I'm going to stick with these top 3 or 4 teams. Let's say that I just use a crapshoot approach. I want to build 40 lineups. I want to throw 20 into a quarter arcade and 20 into a dime time or something like that on DraftKings. I would want 10 stacks of the top 4 teams, and then however it mixes and matches is how it mixes and matches. Now, if I wanted to be more boom or bust, I would cut it down to maybe 2 stacks. If I wanted to play the leverage game, I could come down here to our hitters analysis tab, and I could look here for who is the red is going to be really chalky. The green is going to be, it's like a Han here that has a good situation, in projections, top half anyway, and low ownership. They might be the team to own tonight. You just don't know. But this is a top-heavy league in KBO, and it appears that the teams that are supposed to do the damage typically are the teams doing the damage. So I'm going to probably stick up top. I may fade Do, it's everybody's favorite, and go KIW, NC, KTW. I liked Kia from some earlier research, so I'll probably actually take them. I'll take Kia, NCD, and KIW. Those 3 stacks, okay? So again, I've got some other research that I looked at, but this is where I've identified largely off of these tabs. They're highly projected. They're a little bit lower ownership, fading the big chalk and Do, and then over on the Today's Stack tab. Now you can dive in and do anything that you want and check your results yesterday and the day before and do all that on your own time. But the next thing that I'm going to do with those things in mind is go open up the Domination Station optimizer. And I'm going to set DraftKings, MLB. I'm going to pull down the slate. It's just projected lineups right now. These will confirm at 3 in the morning-ish or so when these lineups release. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to uncheck the 7, 8, 9. Why do I do that? I don't want those lower order guys. I don't know because I'm not following baseball while I'm sleeping. But typically in the in the United States, these are the teams, these are the players that are a little bit more likely to platoon swap out. Now, I know some guys go into the top of the order, some guys go in the 6-hole, whatever. But in a top-heavy league like KBO, sometimes you're going to find a situation where the top of the order doesn't change that much. And when the top of the order doesn't change a whole heck of a lot, then I'm at least giving myself a fighting chance of having the fewest holes possible. I'm also pigeonholing down to the best hitters. If I really wanted to go nuts, I could knock the 6-hitter out and just go 1 through 5 and have some really fun stacks that way that are very, very top heavy. I'm leaving a lot of money on the table when I do this in a lot of these lineups, so I know I've got room to do it. In fact, I'll just do it the way I've been doing it right now because it's been working. So why mess with it? I'm going to change the randomization jacket all the way to 50%. Baseball is a highly random game. Any stud can get a 0, and any guy can hit one out of the park, and a $2,500 player end up with 18 home run points. So that part doesn't matter. If I wanted to do 40 lineups, I punch in my 40. I switch it to server mode. It's a little bit faster. Then I come down here, 2 unique players, 1 unique player. That would be a lot of similar lineups rolling out, so my entire package would do well or do poorly accordingly. If I really wanted to start spreading out, come all the way down to like 4 unique players or so, and force a lot of differentiation in your stacks and a lot of differentiation, and hope to catch 1 or 2 lineups that go really, really deep into the GPPs. So my core is not, my main package of my lineups are not min caching or maybe getting a little beyond that. I'm trying to separate out. I'm going to have some really, really bad lineups this way, but I'm going to have some really, really good lineups on some good nights this way and run really deep into some of these bigger GPPs that can really unlock the return on investment that I'm looking for. I tend to spread out a good bit. And I'll kick it down to tournament mode. I've explained that before, what that does. So we've got wild randomization, wild unique players, but we're narrowed down to only the top 6 batters. I'm going to open up controlled. You can use any one of these stacking approaches that you want, but I'm going to open up the controlled stacking. I'm not going to double stack. I'm going to cut it to a 3 or a 4-man stack, and I'm going to add my teams. NCD, KTW, if that was who it was KIW, wasn't it? And KIA. So if I come back down to KIW and switch them out, now I can run, say, 40% here, and then 30% here, 30% here. If I wanted to add a 4th team, I could go 25, 25%, 10% down here. I could go 60% here, and then 20 and 20 here if I wanted to. Sky's the limit. However you allocate those percentages, depending on how much weight you want to put on your favorite teams, that's what you do. Now, if you're running 150 and you want to include all of the teams and put 10% on all of them, go for it. That's up to you and your game plan and your methodology. This is just what I'm doing very, very quickly. If I open up all the players, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not a coincidence I can only choose from 6 players. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projected lineup players right now. So I'm just going to leave them alone. All players is fine with me. And I'm not even going to double stack and open up that other side. I'm done. I'm literally done. That seems overly simplified, but when I'm not going to be doing a lot of research, and I'm not going to be, I'm relying on our coaches and on our projections and everything else. If I really wanted to, I could come down in here while those numbers are crunching. I could come down in here and I could start liking, loving, adoring some players, playing with this value number here, this 2 times salary and projected points, and boost it to 2.5x. And it's going to pull more of that pitcher into my lineup than the others. Or I could reduce it to 1.4, and he won't show up very often at all, if at all. I can also control my max and my min exposures. If I want to force a certain player in at 20%, put the 20% minimum on him, he'll be in at least 20% of your lineups. If you want to put a max cap on somebody, like say you wanted to run a do stack tonight and you wanted to kind of go underneath the chalk, you think they're going to be up 30, 35% owned, then you might cut yourself down to 20% max and you'll have some exposure, but not as much as everybody else. So if they come out a little flat, you stand to benefit. Those are just a couple of little ways to customize your experience, customize your situation. I've already got 40 lineups cranked, and now all I do is go through here and check the KTW or the KIA. So KIA, 3, 5, 4, it's a 3, 4, 5, 6 stack. Doesn't get any prettier than that. Come down here, got KIA again, 2, 4, 5, 6. So I've got a gap. Those are my favorites. I love the gap stack. Come down here, a little bit more, KIA, 1, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Gap stack. KIW 1, 3, 4, 6. So I'm just double checking to make sure that my teams are showing up about like I like them to show up. See, I'm getting some one-offs in there and whatnot, so I'll have a little bit of exposure if one of those guys absolutely goes, ballistic tonight. But generally speaking, I've got my 40 lineups. I've got these things. They're all stacked up 1, 2, 5, 6. Okay, not the best stack in the world, but not terrible. Could happen. KIW 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 5, 6. Skip the 4. Perfect. One gap stack. Love it. So I just take these, click download, and then throw those in DraftKings, and I'm done. And that takes another 2 minutes or so. So in 10 minutes, with me blathering on, you've had a very, very easy way to set up an optimizer, to randomize it so that you can capitalize on the randomness of the sport that is baseball, and you can roll it out. It seems overly simplistic. It seems like it cheapens the process, but I'm telling you, just this alone, if you're starting out to learn this sport, just this alone, this simplification alone, is going to put you ahead of probably 60 to 70% of the world of DFS players that are spending hours and hours and hours researching this stuff and absolutely overthinking themselves to death. So if you're struggling right now as a player, come in here, learn a baseline system, and then start adding your own pieces on top of it, and you can probably take your game to the next level. Chop it on here for you, dfsarmy.com. Use that coupon code CHOP down there, and get in here tonight. We've got several hours before lock. Get in here tonight, get in here tomorrow. We've got more NASCAR coming. We've got PGA coming back. We've got a lot of great stuff happening here at dfsarmy.com. Hope to see you on the inside talking with all of our coaches. Take care, guys.